So let's go ahead and sit on the top of our mats. An easy pose with your spine straight. You can close your eyes. Take a deep breath. We're going to begin by chanting an Om together. So you can bring your hands in prayer pose at heart center, palms together. And we're going to inhale to Om. Keeping the eyes closed, you can lower your hands on top of your knees and just take a moment to dedicate your practice. You can dedicate it to your Supreme Self, or maybe someone or something that you know could use some extra love and support and energy. Just take a moment and dedicate your practice. And go ahead and stand on the top of your mat. I'm just going to begin a little bit of music. Okay, perfect. So standing at the, are you okay with my back facing this way? Okay. So you can bring your hands to prayer pose at heart center. We're going to inhale and lift up, bringing the arms up and back towards the wall behind you. Exhaling, bending forward into Uttanasana, hands going to the ankles, face going in towards your knees. If you need to bend your knees here, you can. It's fine. And keeping your eyes closed. Palms flat now on the mat, bringing the right leg back for a lunge. The right knee goes down to the mat, chest and chin up. Good. Palms flat, left leg meets the right for a plank. So now knees and chest and chin. So your knees go down to the mat, your chest and your chin, and the seat stays in the air. It's almost like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together a little bit. Slowly rolling forward into Bhujangasana. Chest and chin up towards the ceiling. Good. Pushing into downward dog. And now here, a unique way that Dharma does it, you can actually bend your knees and bounce at the shoulders. It's almost like you're bringing the top of your head to the mat. You're not quite touching. So your shoulders are bouncing and they're loose and your knees are bent. Giving your back a nice extra little stretch. Good. Right leg comes up in between the hands. Left knee drops to the mat for a lunge. Chest and chin up. Good. Bring the left foot back up for Uttanasana. Face in towards the knees, hands at the ankles. Slowly standing back up into prayer pose. Inhaling, stretching the arms back. And coming back to heart center. Good. Again, inhale, extend the arms up and back. Exhaling down into Uttanasana. Hands on the ankles, face in towards the knees. Hands on the mat, right leg goes back for a lunge. Right knee lands onto the mat, chest and chin up. Left leg goes back to meet the right for a plank. Knees, chest, chin. So knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Seat stays in the air. Slowly rolling up from Bhujangasana. Chest and chin up towards the ceiling. Pushing back to downward dog. Knees are slightly bent. Bouncing at the shoulders. Eyes are closed. You can focus on the space between the brows. And just take a few breaths here. Good. Okay, this time we're going to bring our left foot forward, but we're only going to go halfway. So we're coming up for warrior one. So the left leg is sort of at a 90-degree. The right leg is locked. The knee is locked. Arms come up, palms facing one another along your ears. Good. Good. And you're able to lift your face so that your eyes can gaze at the ceiling. That's wonderful. Good. Is it okay if I touch you? Okay, good. Just a little bit more. Good. Wonderful. Bringing the arms out to the side for warrior two. A nice straight line of energy. Being gracious with the size of the space. Good. Okay, so now the left hand, we can put our pointer and our thumb into Gyan Mudra. Pointer finger and thumb come together. And then the left elbow goes on top of the left knee. Right arm extends out above over our right ear and beyond our head. If you're able to, bring your left hand down to the mat. Great. And if not, you can keep your elbow up on the knee in Gyan Mudra. Good. So now we're going to square our hips and bring our right knee down to the mat. Our left leg is still bent. Good. All right, the right arm can come up, and the right hand goes on the outside of the left knee, just like this. The left hand goes on our tailbone, and now we're going to use our right hand against our knee kind of to give us a nice little twist, and you're going to look out beyond your left shoulder. Breathing. Twisting back to center. Hands go onto the mat. Left leg goes back to meet the right for a plank. Good. Knees, chest, chin. Seat stays in the air. Rolling up for Bhujangasana. Chest and chin out towards the ceiling. Pushing back to downward dog. Knees are slightly bent. They're soft. And you're balancing at the shoulders. Excellent. Okay, we're bringing the right leg to the center of the mat this time for warrior one. So arms go up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another, elbows locked. Good. The eye focuses on the ceiling above. Good. Bringing the arms out to the side for warrior two. If you can lower your lunge, if you're flexible enough and you can extend your right leg a little more, go for it. Right hand in Gyan Mudra, so pointer finger and thumb come together. The right elbow goes right on top of your right knee. Left arm extends up and over your left ear. I'm going to turn this way. And if you're able to, you can bring your right hand down to the mat. Great. Squaring the hips. So the left knee comes down to the mat. We're straightening our spine. Left hand goes on the outside of our right knee. The right hand goes on our tailbone, and we can twist to the right, looking over our right shoulder. Good. Twisting back to center. Palms on the mat. Right leg and left leg go back for a plank. Good. Knees, chest, chin. So knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Seat still in the air. A nice little curve in your spine. Rolling up for Bhujangasana. Chest and chin up towards the ceiling. Pushing back for downward dog. Bending the knees a little. Bouncing at the shoulders. Almost like we're bringing the top of our head to the mat, but not quite touching. Good, bringing the right foot up in between the hands for another lunge. Left knee drops down to the mat, chest and chin up. Eyes closed, breathing. Good. Left leg comes back up to meet the right for Uttanasana. Hands at the ankles, face towards the knees. If you need to bend your knees, that's fine. And slowly coming up to a standing position. Hands in prayer pose. Extending the arms up and back. And coming back to heart center. Okay, good. That concludes our warm-up. Okay, so you can stand at this top of your mat. Let's see. Okay. Good. So we're going to do a nice side stretch. You can interlace your fingers and stretch them up above your head towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do is we're going to exhale for a count of 3. We're going to go exhale to the left for 3, and then inhale to the center for 3. Then we'll exhale to the right for 3, and then inhale up to center for 3. Okay? All right, go ahead. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. And release. Nice. So the next position is a variation of a tree pose. For some people it looks a lot easier than it is, especially if you're working on your balance. We're going to begin by putting the weight on our left foot. So you can go ahead and you can watch me first or do it with me. We're going to put our weight on our left foot. We're going to slowly lift our right leg and grab a hold of our right ankle, and then we're going to squeeze our knees together and try to keep your right foot against your seat if you can. And then when you're ready, you can lift your left arm up. Your elbow is locked and your palm is facing out. And then if this is where you can stay, great. If you're able to, you can lift your eye gaze up to the ceiling. And then if you're comfortable with it, you can close your eyes and see if you can stay there. So it's a step-by-step process. So let's begin. Let's bring the weight to our left leg. And then slowly begin lifting your right leg in and grabbing hold of your ankle if you can, or anywhere on the foot that's comfortable with you, and then squeezing the knees together. Left arm goes up towards the ceiling. Sometimes it helps to keep your focus or your eye gaze on one focal point so you can find your balance. And then once you have your balance, you can lift your chin up towards the ceiling. And then closing your eyes. And if you fall out of it, it's fine. Just readjust and go back. Good, everybody's elbows are beautifully locked. Nice strong trees. Good. A few breaths. Sometimes it takes a few tries. Balancing is something that most people find their work. When you find yourself in a sturdy lock, remember what you dedicated your practice to and send some energy there. Good. Take a couple more breaths and then release back to center. Sending some good juju out to... Good. So we're going to switch. So now we're going to put the weight on our right leg. You can go ahead and lift our left leg. Grab a hold of your left ankle. Slowly bringing the knees together, keeping the left foot along your seat if you're able to. Lifting the right arm. Lifting your chin up towards the ceiling. And then closing your eyes. Sending some energy to wherever you dedicated your practice to.
I love the floors. I know.
Yeah, it's like a right
You have a nice...
just ratting me out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing with wooden floors. They talk. Nice. Everybody looks great. Take a couple more breaths and then you can release to center. Okay, wonderful. So you can go ahead and have a seat on your heels. So since this is Dharma 1, this is a nice beginner class, so we won't be going into full headstand, but we're going to do the hair pose, which is a preparation for the headstand. And what it looks like is we're going to put our hands together again and create like a little bowl or a cup. We'll place our little bowl or cup on the mat and our elbows onto the mat and our forearms all on the mat. And then we just simply place the very tippy top of our head inside of this little cup. And then the drishti, or the eye focus, is on the space between the brows. And that's it. So you can go ahead and cup your fingers. And then bring the top of your head to the mat. And it's important to note that your elbows are not completely out to the side. They're actually a little bit tucked in closer to your ears. Because if you are going to go into a beginner headstand, you would want a nice firm base. So focus on the space between the brows. Again, remembering to send energy to wherever you dedicated your practice. Beautiful. So Juliana, rather see if you can. Your head, the top of your head actually is directly on the mat instead of inside of your hands. Yeah. Good. You're kind of creating a little frame around your head with your hands. And take another 3 breaths. And then slowly coming back to a seated position. Nice. Okay. We're going to, you can just sit comfortably for a moment. I'll show you what the next pose is. We're going to do a shoulder stand, and depending on where you are in your practice, it might look very different than the person next to you, and that's totally fine. Also, our flexibility changes by the day, so maybe you're having a really flexible evening and maybe you're a little bit more stiff, and so you'll see where your body is. The idea is to not strain yourselves, especially if you feel a lot of pressure in your back or on your neck. Adjust yourself so that you're in a space where you're pushing yourself but not physically uncomfortable or straining where you feel like you're being hurt. So I usually start with my hands behind me like this, just because I like to rock back and then my hands are already kind of close to my hips so I can grab a hold. So you just simply rock back and grab a hold of your lower back or hips. And I like to adjust a little bit my upper back just so that I am comfortable with where my neck is. Some people, when they do the shoulder stand, their knees will be above their face, and this is where they're comfortable staying because their weight is kind of evenly distributed, where they don't have to try. You don't necessarily have to pull your legs all the way up and point your toes. If you're able to do this, great. But for some, your legs it will kind of look like this. If this is where you want to stay, that's perfect. If you're able to, you can bring your toes up towards the ceiling. The drishti, or the eye focus for this, is on the space between the brows. And this is actually really beautiful for your digestive system. So if you find a nice still place here, and you just get like 5 to 10 breaths, it's wonderful. If you're able to, you can bring your feet to the mat behind you. And I like to bend my knees a little and then wrap my hands around the back of my knees and give my organs a nice little hug. So you'll find where you'd like to go. And then to come out, our palms will go flat on the mat. And we'll slowly lower our seat onto our hands, so we're kind of propped up in the lower back. Our feet will be straight, and then we'll lift our chest and our head, and then place the top of our head on the mat for a fish. So once again, step by step, if you need a reminder of how to come out of it, I'll show you. So we can go ahead and go to the top of our mats. I know some of you already have a pretty regular practice, so if you want to just go right into it, go ahead. Everybody else, if you need assistance, just go ahead and start rolling back, grabbing a hold of your hips. Good. Excellent. So once you find your spot, you can close your eyes and focus on the space between the brow. Sending some love to wherever you dedicated your practice, or just simply being still. Great. Nice deep breaths. Everybody looks really good. Take 5 more breaths. Slow, nice, easy breaths. And to come out, you're going to slowly roll your seat back down onto your palms, which are facing down on the mat. Good. Your feet are out and extended. And then you lift your chest up off the mat. Your elbows are still on the mat. You lift your chest up, and then you place the top of your head onto the mat. So there's a nice curve in your upper back, in your middle and upper back for a fish. Again, the drishti, or the eye gaze, is on the space between the brows. Two more breaths. Good. You can slowly bring your head and upper back down flat on the mat. And you can lay flat for a moment, keeping your eyes closed, and just turn everything off for a second. Good. Okay, so you can bend your knees and bring the bottoms of your feet flat onto the mat. We're going to do Setu Bandhasana, or a nice bridge. So we're actually going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to place our hands on our hips or lower back to support our bridge. So the upper back and the back of the head are on the mat. Good. You can close your eyes if you would like. Staying in a nice meditation, being a nice sturdy bridge. Good. Lowering your hips back down to the mat. Good. Staying in the meditation, not minding our little friend. Okay, good. So I'm going to ask you to just find a way that you can look at me. You don't have to sit up if you don't want, but it might be helpful to watch me. So whatever way you can, whatever way you're comfortable. So we're going to do the preparation for an upward bow. If you're able to do a full upward bow, you can. But for now, I'll just show you the preparation for it. I usually start with my fingertips facing the wall behind me, right next to my ears, and I create a little cup like this, like a little dome. Put them right next to my ears, and then using the strength from my fingertips, I lift my head up and put the top of my head onto the mat. And this is where I start. And then if you're able to, you can then move your hands so that your palms are down and your fingers are facing the wall, the opposite wall. And then you can lift yourself up to wherever you're comfortable. You don't have to push yourself up like this if you don't want. If you're more comfortable with just staying in this position, the preparation, where the top of your head is on the mat and your fingertips are next to your ears, that's fine. And then you can lower yourself. like so. Okay? So go ahead, keep bending your knees. Bringing this nice little cup or dome next to your ears, with your fingertips facing the wall behind your head. And then slowly lifting and rolling the top of your head onto the mat. And if this is where you can stay, even just for a second or two, that's fine. And then you can lower yourself back down if that's all you're able to do. If you're able to push yourself all the way up, great. Just remember to breathe. That looks wonderful. Good. Great. Good effort. Good. Taking a breath and then trying again if you would like. Great. Good. Good. Taking a breath and then coming back down slowly. Good job. Now you can go ahead and bring your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around your shins and just breathing. You can rock a little to the side. Beautiful. Okay, you can go ahead and extend your legs out straight. So for the next nice little side leg stretch, you can place your left palm on top of your left hip. And then to begin, we lift our right leg up and we grab a hold of our ankle. And if you need to bend your knee, that's fine. If you're really flexible and you're able to hold your ankle with your legs straight, that's wonderful, but not required. So keeping your left hip on the mat, you're just going to slowly stretch your right leg out to the side. Now what you want to try to avoid is bringing your whole body to the right. So you're not lifting your hips up off of the mat. You're actually only stretching your leg to the side. And keeping your left palm on top of your left hip. Some people like to grab their big toe, other people like to grab their heel, so whatever works really well for you is good. 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 Slowly bringing your leg back up and down onto the mat. Switching, so now you can put your right hand on top of your right hip, and then grabbing hold of, lifting your left leg up, grabbing a hold of your ankle or the inside of your foot, and then only stretching the left leg out to the left as far as you can without lifting your
What the heck?
It's like
wow, we have really professional side stretchers in the room here. And your hip is on the mat. Great, Juliana. Wow. You and Kelly are getting very close very quickly. Good job. It's okay. Staying in your meditation. Slowly bringing your left leg back and extending it out straight. Now your legs might feel a little longer. Okay. Very gently come to an upright position with your legs extended out straight. Great. So we're going to do a nice little forward bend. What I really love about the Dharma practice in general is that, well, in any yoga practice, you don't want to strain, but what I really like is the specific grabbings or finger placements for these stretches. So you can actually bend your knees if you need to. The idea is to not, we're going to reach for our big toes. If you strain while having your knees locked, you just simply bend your knees ever so slightly. And then you want to bring your pointer fingers and wrap them around your big toe. And I like to bring my knees to the inside of my armpits. So if you're able to do that, and get this nice little stretch, and then you just lower your head. So for some people, you can lower your head all the way down with your legs straight. And that's great. If not, just simply bend your knees. And lean forward. Breathing, focusing on the space between the brows. Taking another breath and then coming back up to center. Okay. Bend your legs like this. We're going to do a bench. So you can place your hands behind you. And we're going to push off the floor and bring our hips towards the ceiling. And we actually are going to gaze at the ceiling. So you're not keeping your face forward and you're not tilting it back either. It's just straight looking at the ceiling. Good, and lowering your seat back down to the mat. You can then lift your feet up off of the mat and extend your arms out to the side for a boat. Good, back to one more bench. Hands behind you. Lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Face up towards the ceiling. Good. Lowering your seat back down to the mat. You can keep your left leg extended and bend your right knee. And your right leg. Bringing the right foot into the left knee. Once again, we're going to bring our pointer fingers to the big toe. If you need to, you can bend your knee and your face, the left side of your face is going to go to the inside of your left knee. Good. See if you can wrap your pointer fingers around your toe. Good. Just a nice little touch. Beautiful. Coming back up to center, switching legs. Okay. Point your fingers to your right big toe. And if you need to bend your knee, that's fine. And then you can bring the right side of your face to the inside of your right knee. Good. I was going to say, so you can bring both your hands. Good. Back up to center. Okay. So we're going to do Tadasana, or star pose. So you want to create a nice little, the bottoms of your feet come together, and you're not going to squeeze them into your groin. You're actually going to create a nice little diamond. And our hands go into Kali Mudra. So the thumb and the pointer finger are together, and then the other fingers are interlaced like this. And then you can open up the bottoms of your hands and place them around your toes, like so. Great. The elbows go on the outside of your shins, if you're able to. And then you just drop your head down. Nice star. Beautiful. Good. Coming back up to center. We're going to do a squat, which is actually my personal favorite. So you can go ahead and just lift yourself up a little with your hands, keeping the bottoms of your feet flat on the mat. And then you place your elbows on the inside of your knees. Right. Good. And then you bring your hands to prayer pose. And just close your eyes if you're able to. Breathing. Here you go. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, much better. Beautiful. Take a few more breaths. And when you're ready to come out, you can place your hands. I like to place my hands behind me. And then I like to slowly lower my seat back to the mat. Okay, beautiful. We're actually going to, right before we go to the final twist, we're actually going to do Bhujangasana or Cobra again. So you can go on your belly and just place your hands up next to your chest. Getting ready, go ahead and lift up. Chest and chin towards the ceiling. And then when you lower back down, go ahead and lower back down. You're going to extend your left arm just straight. And then you're going to bend your right leg and your right arm for Parsha Shavasana. And then the left side of your face goes nice and flat on the mat. You can close your eyes and just rest here for a moment. Good. Coming back. Staying on your belly, but we're actually going to do a nice bow. So you can come back to center and lift up your chin just a little. You're going to bend your knees so that your feet are up like this. You can go ahead and grab your ankles. And then when you're ready, you can lift up your legs and your chest. off of the mat so that your lower abdomen is on the mat. If you're able to, you can rock back and forth, give your organs a nice little squeeze. If not, just simply see if you can try to lift up for a few seconds for a nice breath. And then if you need to come back down to take a breath and then start back again, that's fine too. Yeah. Good. Good. Now we can go into child's pose. You can go ahead and sit on your heels. Your forehead is on the mat, and then your arms are extended back. You can grab a hold of your ankles or somewhere on your feet, wherever's comfortable for you. Focusing on the space between your brow. Good. Slowly rolling up for our final twist. You can bring your seat to the mat. Extend your legs. We're going to bring our right leg over our left, so the right foot is just outside the left knee. The left hand goes out right behind our tailbone. And then the left elbow goes right outside the right knee if you're able to. And then we bring our forearm down and our palm actually lands right on our hip. And then we use the elbow, the left elbow on our right knee to get a nice twist so that we're looking out beyond our right shoulder. So, see if you can, this looks great, but just see if you can, good, there you go. Good. Going back to center. You can switch. So extending your right leg. Bring the left foot over next to our right knee. Left hand goes out behind our tailbone, and then the right elbow just outside of the left knee. Arm flat, palm flat against the hip. And you're twisting to the left and looking out beyond your left shoulder. You might notice that one side is a little bit harder than the other, perhaps. Maybe not. Closing the eyes. Good. Coming back to center. Now, for most people's favorite, we're going into Shavasana. Before we do so, is everybody okay with just flipping around so your feet are that way? Okay, cool. So this is corpse pose, so I know you've all done it before. So you're just going to lay completely flat on your back. Legs are spread apart a bit, and your palms are facing up, and they're spread apart as well. Okay, good. We're going to leave the body by itself now. Going to rest. So the eye focus is the space between the brow. So the idea is to get deep relaxation while also raising our awareness and consciousness. So the idea is to not fall asleep, but if it happens naturally, that's okay. Just try to remain as calm and meditative as you can. So we're going to begin by letting the left leg, the left foot, left leg, and left hip relaxing. the right foot, right leg, and right hip. Relaxing. The hips, the lower back, upper back, relaxing. The left hand, left arm, and left shoulder. The right hand, right arm, and right shoulder. Resting. Allowing the muscles in your face to relax. The back of the head, heavy. And you're going to leave the body by itself now. And just find yourself inside. slowly beginning to come back and bringing awareness to the body. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, you can slowly roll to your right side. You can gently sit up when you're ready. Okay. So we're going to do brief pranayama, and then a brief meditation, and then our practice will be concluded. Your left hand will be in Gyan Mudra, so the pointer finger and thumb are together, creating a little circle. You can just place it on top of your knee. We're going to be using our right hand. We're going to use the thumb to close the right nostril and the ring finger to close the left nostril. So what it looks like is we will close the right nostril with the thumb. We'll begin by breathing in for 6 seconds through the left nostril, like this. Then we close both for 4 seconds. And then we exhale out of the right nostril for 6 seconds. Then we'll inhale again through the left, hold for 4, exhale out the left for 6. I might have just said right. I might have just switched my lefts and rights, but you understand. Okay, so you can go ahead and close the right nostril with your thumb. Making all count. If this is your first time doing this, which is none of your first time doing this, however, if you need a refresher, you can keep your eyes open and watch me if you'd like. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. So let's just take a breath before we begin. And go ahead and inhale for 6. Hold both. Exhale out of the right. Inhale right. Close both. Exhale the left. Inhale left. Close both. Exhale on the right. Inhale right. Close both. Exhale left. One more time. Inhale left. Close both. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close both. Exhale left. And go ahead and drop your right hand. Good. This is a nice pranayama exercise to do to balance the right and left hemispheres of your brain, and also calming the nervous system and balancing the masculine and feminine in the body. Good. It's okay. To close, we're going to do a nice brief meditation. You can bring both hands into Gyan Mudra, like so. You can place them on top of your knees. Your eyes are closed, and you can focus, if you like, on the space between the brow. You don't have to. You're just going to focus on the breath. Do a nice short meditation. You can begin. Taking a nice deep breath. You keep your eyes closed. Bringing your hands to prayer pose at heart center, palms together. We're going to close by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And go ahead and inhale to chant. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to grace. That concludes our practice. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. The three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.